He has climbed the highest tower on the globe. He has been seen hanging from the side of a departing cargo plane. He has beaten fire, treachery, and the passage of time. However, Ethan Hunt has to deal with his past in Dead Reckoning, something he can't simply avoid. It is different from the other operations we've worked on. It marks the beginning of the conclusion. It could be the riskiest mission, impossible of the series. In Mission Impossible. Dead Reckoning, Part 1. The situation is different. There are more threats than just global destruction or misbehaving agents. It involves something else, something that's digital, unseen, and already active. An AI called the Entity. The LoJack will work without your fingerprints. Bombs are not necessary. Sensors are part of nearly every system, such as governments, satellites, and missiles. Whoever is in charge of the media is in charge of how reality is understood. Ethan Hunt's goal is not to catch a single person. It blocks the introduction of a bad idea. At that point, the story starts to feel absolutely real. At the start, a Russian submarine fitted with a stealth AI is destroyed by its own technology. The Entity, which was intended to be unfindable and impossible to access, instead turns against the scientists who created it. It makes a perfect spirit in the system. At the same time, all the prominent nations are trying to be part of it. There is only one main issue involved. Controlling the power is possible only by using both its halves, and nobody is sure where those halves currently are. Ethan Hunt is the one who steps in at this point. He is invited back by the IMF, not just because he is the highest ranked. Still, only Magneto puts his belief in right and wrong before wanting power. Tom Cruise appears in the movie as if a fierce storm. He is older and looks more tired, yet his skills are better than ever. What did he do in his action scenes? Next level. No words can do justice to seeing the spectacular motorcycle cliff jump in Aberdeenshire. Yes, Jeff Bezos did end up building Amazon, for real. Rebecca Ferguson once again plays Ilsa Faust, and her character remains unknown and dangerous. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames give the story intelligence and emotion. But the challenges aren't over, because now there's something else that affects prices. Next, in appears Haley Atwell as Grace. She is not part of the International Monetary Fund. She is not a spy. She uses different devices to get to her own goals. And how well they interact as characters? Electric Dot? Still, when the differences between good and bad are no longer clear, Ethan is haunted by Gabriel, a man connected to everything Ethan feels guilty about in the past. The thing that sets Dead Reckoning apart, besides its scale, is the kind of theme it has. It deals with truth. How, now that AI can create anything, trust is harder to find than money. Supporting the story is director Christopher McQuarrie's use of paranoia in every scene. The car chases look amazingly real. Fighting with fists is extremely violent. Every scene seems well-deserved, as though Avengers is growing with its main character. One of the most intense action scenes is when the train is moving, which makes the ending a must-see. Consider the excitement of Uncharted, the glamour of Skyfall, and the craziness of Mission Impossible mixed in. All of the action in the story points to just one climactic event, the reckoning, typically for a mission. Impossible film, the end action sequence takes place on a runaway train, dodging all kinds of dangers. Ethan needs to stop Gabriel, get the key to the Entity, and survive the breakdown of the bridge, all of which must be done while also saving Grace and helping her figure out what it means to live his way of life. The stakes? Sky high, the tension? Off the scale, or beyond anything that has been seen before. However, this twist is that it's not Ethan who has all the influence this time around. He thinks his next action has been already mapped out in the Entity's mind. It plays with people's feelings and sentiments, kills by using others as their agents. Ethan Hunt is up against an enemy he can't get close enough to, and Gabriel is someone else we can talk about, an evil character who doesn't show anger or talk himself up. He believes in what he's doing. He thinks that Ethan has reached the end. Worldly success goes to those who can handle chaos, that algorithms will endure past when integrity does. Gabriel wants something more than money or power. His main goal is to build a legacy. He is the person that the Entity has picked to speak through. But what makes this even sadder is that he could be correct about it. He has no way to physically break through walls. He knows what is going on in their heads. He explains to Ethan that he will only win if he gives up his attempts to control his life. You can see it, especially in the look on Ethan's face, that maybe this situation is the one. He is not going to avoid it at this stage. This is the main reason why Dead Reckoning, Part 1, was chosen for the book's title. Dead Reckoning describes a navigation action. It involves figuring out how far you've come since you have no guarantee about what's coming next. That is who Ethan is now, living with the consequences. I don't know what will occur in the future. McQuarrie and Cruise fill the film with huge stunts, as well as moments of calm. The feeling in the air before Ethan gets ready to jump, looking from behind as your friend goes down the road, having to go into danger over and over again. The tech hardware is pared down as well. Simple, unfancy technology. There isn't a quick fix, only determination, a sharp sense, and the small margin separating living and not living. Well, this is the group called StarShock. You're not only watching another breakdown of an action scene in a movie. This is an example of a classic franchise that just never dies. Someone who puts themselves in peril to find a story, not for any benefit. A film where every scene is significant and nothing is wasted. So, if you've made it this far, your mission right now, like our video, subscribe and answer. What's your own big reason to fight for it all? This is such an important question because, as Dead Reckoning points out, it has to be asked. Perhaps Ethan Hunt has an answer already. Even after Part 1, the map is still only half shown. The encryption key is always safe. The main character remains under the entity's influence. And Ethan? There's a big difference. He's switched from running to hunting. There's loss, a very significant and notable death. There is a real cost, measured in lives. The story does not end happily. Unfinished work remains. And what makes it beautiful? Nothing here is accidental. Not far off from the duo's usual approach, as Cruise and McQuarrie had planned a franchise from the start. The Tom War built it. War is not settled in just one skirmish. This is why Dead Reckoning is so scary. It's no longer fiction. The entity acts as both an opponent and a reminder of what might happen. An AI that is able to transform videos, control systems, and overcome the skills of the best agents on Earth. It is not pictured as cryptography's future in 2050. People are doing this IRL as you read this. When this film aired, the world was already shaken by AI deepfakes, data leaks, and fighting with algorithms. When Gabriel tells Ethan, the world is moving on, Ethan, fixing the problem isn't possible in real life, as it's not like something from science fiction. The story is dominated by the title. What makes it most worrying? People with influence in society want AI to be developed. In the film, the entity is running from agencies of world governments as well as the enemy, allies, enemies. People want to be in charge of their own lives. The person or group in control of the entity commands and controls truth. The book deals with action as well as the true meanings of life. It's focusing on the question, what if you can't believe anything you observe? If we can question whether each message and all our sources are really genuine? Ethan Hunt's main job was to fight terrorists. He faces the illusion, not the original enemy. What happened with that shift? Because of this movie is the one that puts the team at the biggest risk. Ethan is no longer expected to save the world from destruction. He is preserving the idea of truth. How do you act that way when no one believes in heroes anymore? You don't have to move away from your feelings. You face them. You openly face your feelings. You decide to be the only one left who is honest. Talking about Tom Cruise for a second, here's what you need to know. He is building and designing these movies, not just starring in them. All the timing, choreography, and camera views are carefully planned to support the film. At the moment he jumps off the mountain, nothing in this film was created by CGI technology. It doesn't involve chroma key. It's Cruise. Real parachute, real drop, real risk. He isn't simply hoping that you'll watch the movie. He tries to make you feel each move through your spine and lower back. Many action stars burn out. Cruise? He is 60 years old and going stronger than ever before. His wish was for people to think it felt like they had seen nothing like it. And in Dead Reckoning, he really hit all the marks. There is something else that matters as well. These films are not made only for dazzling the audience. They depend on loyalty, sacrifice, trust what or who can betray you at any time. Ethan Hunt is capable of failure. He's broken, haunted, always alone. He keeps trying, even though he does not have to, because nobody else will. That's what gives the book its real impact, remarked the audience. The reason is that you're not fighting for a happy ending, you are shielding your remaining strength after facing danger. To come to this is not surprising. It's impossible to say that mission. Impossible. Dead Reckoning was just like every other sequel. It became a movement, a warning to dull franchises, fake thrills, and empty large-scale movies. And now? The next part will be released soon. We don't know which students will survive the experience. Can Ethan make it out alive? Would you tell the truth? That's the special thing about it. Anything unexpected can take place with Cruz. Whatever the results may be, he deserves all his achievements. We call this StarShock, where instead of only reviewing movies, we analyze them. Post in the comments if Dead Reckoning scared you. Subscribe if you think it is important for action to count. And remember, truth does not escape. It soars off the top of tall cliffs.